Hey guys, just wanted to do a short video here on how I became addicted and how my mental health got worse over time. I it was like any other teenager, I drank beers, I smoked a little pot, but that was it for me. After high school, I went to college at Westminster for a semester. Wasn't ready for school, so I joined the Navy with a few buddies of mine. And I actually liked it. I was an aviation electronics technician, mostly working on a fixed wing FA-18 Super Hornet. We, after my first 3 years were up, 2 months before they were up, our squadron was going out for 6 months on a carrier. So you have to go see the doctors and the psych and all that. And I don't know what I said. Uh, it was a female doctor from the Navy. And about a week after that, I got called back into her office. And she said, I can't let you go in the carrier. And we can't let you re-enlist because you have bipolar unspecified. I had never heard of bipolar, let alone unspecified at that time. So after my 3 years were up, it was actually 37 months. I was I was discharged honorably under medical conditions, and I never really got treated for bipolar at that time. I went back to college, and over the summer in 1999, I was in a jet ski accident with my friend, and I broke my femur, my hip, and my ribs. And I was put on OxyContin, and I was on Percocet as a breakthrough pain, because the OxyContin was basically a long acting drug. It was a slowly released, time released drug. I took it like I was supposed to for those 48 months, 49 months that I was on. And one day I went into my doctor's office and he said, "You're done with your medication, and just try to exercise your hip, build the muscle around it." So I went home with that information, and the next morning I thought I had the flu. I was on 280 milligram oxys in the morning and two at night. It was a very high dose, and my tolerance had gotten that high. So when the symptoms like the flu started, a buddy of mine said, "You are sick. You're dope sick." I said, "What?" He said, "You were on one of the strongest painkillers at a high dose for years, and you weren't weaned off." So that's when I found out about addiction. I seen a doctor. He immediately sent me to a methadone clinic, which was the worst idea. I was on that for years. I got arrested for writing a bad check, and I went to jail. I was on 120 milligrams of methadone a day. I went to jail, and they had nothing. They had nothing. They wouldn't give me anything. So I was sick. I was there for 124 days. I was sick the whole time. So when I got out, I went and seen a pain doctor, brought x-rays, and he put me on methadone 10 milligram tablets, but 12 a day. And I always got Xanax from my one psychiatrist, and from my primary care, I got Klonopin mixed with the methadone. It wasn't good, and I ran out early of every month. So with that, going that every month, I was sick for the last week usually. That's when the mental issues really came out. I couldn't leave my bed for a week at a time. I had no energy. I was lethargic, sleeping a lot. And then the next week, I felt like I had super energy. I was manic. I couldn't stop. I would start a project and not finish it. I would buy tons of things online. I would act irrationally. So when I went to see my pain doctor again, the same day I had a primary care visit right after that. And I was telling my doctor what happened, and he said, "We're going to get you hooked up with a psychiatrist," which he did. And they put me on I think the first medication I was put on was Seroquel and Prozac. And the Seroquel was too much for me. It made me sleep too much. It made my triglycerides really high. So then they put me on a medication, lithium, which I actually did pretty well on. And I was stable on that medication, but it did something to one of my kidneys. On my blood work showed that I had a problem with the kidney. So I went to a kidney specialist, and they said it's not bad. It's a couple points off, but you can't take lithium anymore. So then I went to what was it next? Haldol, and the Haldol made me jerk. It made me feel like I had a Parkinson's disease, or So they gave me another medication to combat that. And then my doctor put me on Thorazine with those two others. And I, along with the methadone and the benzos, it wasn't good. I lost 3 years of my life where I can't remember anything. And so I relapsed in 2006, and I relapsed hard. The oxys weren't easy to get anymore. So I went to Youngstown, Ohio, which is 20 minutes from me, and bought heroin, which was stronger and much, much cheaper. So I don't like needles, so I actually smoked it off of tinfoil. But what this was doing to my mental health, it was like putting a Band-Aid on it, and it felt like it fixed it when I was on these drugs, and when I wasn't, I was broken. And so I, because I'm a veteran, went to the VA, and they said, "Have you ever applied for service connection?" And I said, "No, I don't even know what that is." So a VSO rep called me and got all my information, and sent it to the VA. And about 7 weeks later, I got approved at 70%, and which at that time was $14.44 a month. And I stayed on 70% for a few years. With the cost of living adjustments, I went up to 17.16. because I don't have any dependent. I'm single and no kids. So I got a lawyer and I applied for 100%, and they denied it. And my lawyer sent it again, and they approved me not only for 100%, but 100% permanent in total, which means the VA can never give me a comp exam again, a pension exam again. But and then I went on Suboxone as well. And as of today, I'm on Subutex now, but I've been on this medication since the end of 2009, I believe, and it really, really helps me. It takes any desire I have to use away. I'm, I'm not doing great mentally still because of the bipolar. Now I'm on, I think, triliptal, and that doesn't work. I've been on so many different medications, and I can't find anything that works. And the lithium work, but they won't give it to me. So, being an addict, they also prescribed me a low dose of benzodiazepine, and it's not a good idea for me. And I was doing this video to hopefully get some answers and find people who are in similar situations or have been for advice. I really haven't been on the benzos too long, and this time in a very low dose. However, I shouldn't be on them at all, and that's scary. I just have, I do have good days, and I had suicide thoughts a couple of years ago. I was hospitalized at the VA, but I don't have anything like that anymore. I just can't get energy. I don't have energy sometimes, and then sometimes I have way too much. Bipolar is tough. I know all of the the mental illnesses are really tough on people, whether it's schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, ADHD, PTSD. But I don't know what to do. I don't like the way I feel most of the time. And I I just hopefully I'm just starting this channel. Hopefully I get some feedback, and hopefully this helps somebody else, because I do believe in a lot of, I don't go to NA very much, but I believe in a lot of the 12 steps. I really do. I believe making amends, especially to somebody close to you, is really hard. It's really hard. And I put myself in this situation. Yes, a doctor's got me started on OxyContin. However, even though they didn't wean me off, I immediately went to buying OxyContins and to methadone. And this is the struggle with the bipolar, and that in the mental side and the addictive side. And I'm always going to be an addict, and I know that. I'm hoping to stay clean. I don't have a desire for anything because of the Subutex, thank God. But it's just a day-to-day thing, and hopefully this gets a message out there, and you guys, it helps you. Please comment on anything. You can subscribe if you want. I'm going to be doing a lot of shorts, but I wanted to throw a little longer video up. And I hope you guys have a great night. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Thanks, guys.